Hello everyone. We are starting our session within a few minutes. Please have patience. Okay, hello everyone. Hope you all doing well. Today, firstly, want to apologize to each and every one of you because of some unavoidable circumstances we are come across, and again rescheduled our this session. But the number of participation has inspired us and proved that you all are the backbone of the startup club. Let the speaker to be come in the meeting, and we will be starting in a few minutes. Please have patience within yourself.
Hey everyone, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir, you are audible.
Okay, great.
Okay, hello everyone. A very good evening to one and all. So today, the Startup Club of MCKVIE presents with you an interactive and exclusive podcast on my story, motivational session by successful entrepreneurs. So I really want to relate you all to a discussion, an example even. Ever you have been out from your residence, even outing with your families and friends, we never been in a fit pocketed, right? Have you ever carried with your pocket filled? Never. You have ever been with your documents, your essentially your personal information? No, because we are trusted our all the documents and essential personal information to our carries technologies like phone, laptop, and iPhone. Don't you think so? Yes, that's it. But I really want to raise a concern for you. Nowadays, have you ever wondered what happened when if your documents and personal information could be breached by cyber criminals? It could be, right? Let me bring you one more example. Let's say your bank have been called out for KYC. You will be asking for collecting the sensitive information to the customer for verification. Don't you think so? Yes, it is so. So let me ask you, if they fail to secure your private information and they got since criminal cybersecurity breached by your compromised personal information. So here we are privileged to being in presence of a true visionary and leader in the field of technology. Our guest speaker has dedicated his career in finding innovation solution of a self-sovereignty by securing data and identity. Our speaker, Vishwas Anand Bhushan, sir, is not just an innovator but also the co-founder of Hypermine, has successfully spearheaded numerous ways that they have been profound impact on your own credential, personal information, and data with your internet. His work in Hyperman, the company has revolutionized the way of thinking of people and created a concern for their personal data. Yes, the Vishwas serve with the hub of their experiences had been brought up with the forefront of their designing breakthrough technology that is Hypersign Identity Network that has a great aim to empower and access to the gain control of their data and access on the internet by providing you a scalable, affordable, and secure variable data. So he has just not been a nerd, but also expertise has earned his internet recognition, had been also being recognized with the multiple awards. So today we will be inciting his information, his story and motivational stories of the Vishwas of his own voice, how he had been overcome his challenges and pave their way to the being a successful entrepreneur. So please, everyone, join me to give a big warm welcome to our Vishwas, our guest sir in the speaker. Sir, please.
Wow, that's quite a lot of introduction, and I'm glad to be here. And so, I don't know if you know already, like I was part of batch 2015.
Yes, sir, we are aware that you are the pass out of the CKVR. We are fortunate to have a such seniors.
Yes. But I just want to correct you few things about me. I am not very successful. so it depends, like how do you define that? But as per whatever definition I have in my mind, it's I won't call myself as a successful entrepreneur, but yes, there is a path where uh, we try to, move, right? um, and rest of the thing what you talked about um, is true. And thank you for going through all of our contents or informations related to my company. And I'm very pleased to know that you guys have did some research on that.
That's being a very privileged to have such thing. So we are curious to know about you. So your entrepreneurial journey. How did you start? How that idea hits you to be in the path of entrepreneur?
Um, so there was a time when my father sent me 7 time Facebook request, and I was confused, like why he keeps sending me Facebook request with a new account. And yes, when I talked to him, I got to know that okay, he has the password problem, like he cannot remember passwords, right? And we all face this problem often. Uh, and then I realized, so there was another incident during this time itself where I saw my grandfather sharing password with the driver just because he forgot to bring his spectacles. So these things basically, uh, you know, sort of uh, gave me some thoughts like why people are still using password, although we have been using SSL in our computers for a very long time. So why not use digital signature as your authentication mechanism, and basically log into a website. So it all started from there. But then, so basically when you start, right, you do a lot of mistakes. And uh, and when you do a lot of mistake, you got to know that there are certain proper ways to do things, right? So just getting the problem was not enough. You have to, we wanted to validate that problem. And how do you validate the problem is like there are multiple ways to do that. And one of the ways is, okay, you present your idea to people. Don't get scared that this idea is going to get stolen or what. You see what people says. Do they also see the same problem? For example, uh, if I want to go to Kolkata and I want to go in, let's say, 5 minutes. Now you may ask that we can solve this problem by, building a hyperloop or some sort of rocket which can easily, take me from Bangalore to Kolkata in just 5 minutes. But is this problem worth solving? How many people really get this problem, right? So uh, the mistakes normally what we do in our college life or whenever we start working also is that we don't focus on the problem, uh, because we have, as a human being, we have a tendency to sort of find the solution. So we always jump to the solution without really uh, paying much attention to the problem itself. So uh, and I was, of course I was no different. So I tried to jump on the solution. But before that, I had to get my problem validated. So I started going into hackathons. So hackathons are one of the ways where you can basically validate your problems. You take this problem statement, there are judges, you tell them and see what they think about it, right? So back in 2018, 2019, I had like been to most of the hackathon which were happening in Bangalore, and almost all of them we won, right? So that gave us some confidence that okay, this problem do exist, not just with the people but also within the enterprise. Because right, like people are not going to pay for services. I mean, it depends. But these kind of complex problem related to security, privacy, we still share our phone number at in malls, right, where when we pay for our services. So we are like that. So we don't understand our privacy, neither do we understand our security. So people are not going to pay. So who is going to pay, right? So we got to know that okay, this problem exists within the enterprises as well. Like when you, after your college, you will go to some company, they'll allot you, give you some sort of identity within the company. Yeah. And so they'll allot you some systems, and that needs passwords, right? And then they'll ask you to change this password every frequently, right, just to be secure. But then it has a cost. So every password reset costs you around, like, company around up to $5. So imagine TCS, right? They have like so many employees, and every 2 months you are rotating your password. So it costs a lot of money, and companies want to solve this problem. So this is how I got into this particular problem related to password. We wanted to solve the password problem. Later on, as we proceeded with that journey, I got to realize that it is not just the password that you need to solve. You also need to solve the data problem, data privacy issues. There are we we don't really care about it, right? As normally we post everything what we have on the internet, social media, these apps, everything has your data, and they can. And now AI, right? You might have heard about a lot of cases where they basically use AI to uh, you know uh, create videos, and you can't even know that whether this video is a uh, fake video, or it was it created by AI, or whether it's a actual video which was shot in a camera. So anyway, so that is how my journey started. So it started from problem password, solving a password problem, to solving the data problem. Like, we wanted to empower users with their data. But of course, you cannot directly, like I said, right? The problem should be worth solving, and that is the key, worth. Because, and what is worth? Worth means like somebody should pay for the solution. Yeah. So you have to keep your vision, but then you need to find out the way where, when you solve this problem, somebody come and pay for that. So that is the tricky part in any business. So that's how I got into this.
So
And
from the basics you have just said and related with our audience, that's incredible. And the background experience that led to be an entrepreneur is also a great motivating for us also. Yes, Meghna?
So I was listening to you very intently, and thank you, sir, for the insights. I was a little confused about one part. You did mention about identifying the significance of the problem and knowing if we should validate that problem. Now, can you tell me, like, is it just keeping in mind that someone is going to pay for it or not, or should we not have some other measures in mind?
so, like I said, right? The example that I chose, you you want to reach. So money is okay. First of all, it's a very good question, and you always. So how does it work, right? You never start with how you want to solve the problem. You always start uh, with some sort of vision. Vision is not what is vision first, right? Uh, problem comes very later on. First, you start with a vision. Okay, I'll give you one example, right? So let's say I have a family business where we sell clothes. So my father used to sell clothes, and they have a shop. So what they exactly do is sell clothes. But his vision is not selling clothes. His vision is he want to see all peoples of this country look fit, uh, and when people look fit, they feel more confident. So the vision is to make all the youths or everybody feel confident. But on the ground, what he is doing is selling clothes. So selling cloth is a part of, like, one of the step of that vision, right? Tomorrow he might want to start his classes where he wants to educate people to, let's say, speak well, behave well, things like that, right? So all these things come. So first you define your vision. Okay, what is my vision, what I want to do? Don't you so But when you start very early, right, it's not very easy to come up. But anyways, the vision goes parallel, right? So you keep thinking about your vision. For example, in our case, what was the vision? I wanted to help everybody. Like, I used to feel that this mobile phone, this all these technologies are not just for people like you and me who understand technologies. We are forcing our grandparents parents to use this technology, but we are not providing them convenience to do that. Example, that password, right? Password is becoming a hell for all these people. Now there are several apps, and you have to remember thousands of passwords. If you look at your family also, somebody would have definitely written the password down in some sort of notebooks, because there are a lot of them, right? So we can remember, but our parents can't, right? So my vision was to help these guys, basically get rid of, uh, basically get access to technologies as easy as possible. So that could be one vision. Now, one of the problem within that vision, to achieve that vision, the vision could be very big. Like your college has a vision, right? And one of the things that they are doing is, they might have computer classes, they might have, or whatever, different small things, right? So these are part of problems. So now let's come down to the problem. So first you had the vision. Now within that vision, how we can uh, define our problem statement. So problem statements, normally when you do research, right, what happens is that you first focus on solving one small part of it, and the more specific the problem is, the better you will be able to solve. The more generalized the problem is, you will always feel that okay, it is already solved. For example, traveling from one city to another city is a very general problem, but traveling in, like, you have 100 different ways to travel. You have train, bus, you have cabs, multiple things, right? But let's say I try to specialize this problem statement, something like this: how about traveling from Kolkata to, let's say, Durgapur, but in luxury? So this is a specific problem for specific set of people. Yeah. Now I'll come back to your question. So first, the structure is like this: first you define the vision, then you define a specialized problem statement, okay, and then you see whether this problem statement worth solving. When I say worth solving, meaning that there are two things actually. First is, yes, somebody is ready to pay for the solution. Like in this example, there are set of people who want to have luxurious travel, right? Second, is there any market already available, and that market is enough? For example, this other use case that I said, right, traveling from Bangalore to Kolkata in 5 minutes, maybe there might be just one or two person who might want this service, and he might be very rich. But look at demographic of our country. How many rich people do we have? There are, I think, 140 or 200 or 300 millionaires only, or billionaires. So there are very less people who would, afford, use that so nobody can deny that it's not a problem, but is it worth solving? And what is the market size, or how many people do really need to solve that problem for? So these two things are important. So that is how you come down. But what happens when you start, right? You always do this mistake of getting into the solutions, because it's our nature as a human being. We want to solve. We always very are eager to solve something without understanding the problem itself. Did I answer your question, or?
Yes, sir, definitely. So basically, market size, visions, and somebody is ready to pay. So these three things, I guess, are the most important things, I guess, right?
Yeah, so market, when I say market side, it also consists of a lot of other things like doing research, finding your target audience, things like that. But
Or maybe
let's,
even analyzing the trends, right?
exactly. So
Okay.
all those things are a little bit more deeper side of things, but high level problem, specialized problem, and whether it's worth validating the problem. There could be multiple ways, like I said, right? For example, in our case, we chose hackathons because we were engineers, developers, and we were basically like I, I didn't know that what to do in the weekend, so I used to just go into the hackathons, and they used to give us free foods. So
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
yeah.
So it's very inspiring speech you have just said. Okay, Hypermind is one of the inspired by you, right?
Hmm.
In Hypermind is the company that inspired your story, right? You have figured out on the basic level how the problems are people are facing with their passwords and their process, right? So, would you really elaborately say how you stay innovative and adaptive to the changing market trends? As had been seen that competition in the tech industry is increasing in a drastic way. Do you think that adaptability to the market trend it's now getting hyper?
It's always there. Like like they say, right? Change is the only constant. So you always have to uh, keep up with the market trend. And what is more important in all these discussions, I don't know how you guys, I mean, I'm sure that the way of teaching and the way of studying would have changed a lot since my time. But I always suggest people to uh, don't get stuck with the tools, technologies. These are just small things. What is important is the problem itself. That's the most important, because end of the day that customer is not going to be very concerned about, okay, did you use AI or did you use blockchain, did you use Java? He doesn't care about that. What he really cares about is his problem getting solved. So uh, I don't know, like, because now if I look back my college days, I'm trying to just relate with you guys. Like if I look back my college days, we used to have that kind of study where we just wanted to finish it. We just wanted to, you know, uh, get rid of exams, and that's why we were studying. So so the whole point is we should not even think about solution. We should always think about, okay, how do you solve this problem? What is the problem, not how do you solve. So there is a book called Start With Why. If you guys get a chance, please do read it. It basically tells you about the why part. You do anything and you first figure out the why part. Why am I doing this? Why are you studying this? Why are you in the call? Right? And then you go up and find out, okay, how do I, do it, or what do I do it? And then you find out how do I do it. So how and what part is actually very smaller part of the equation, but the main thing which is important is finding the why part. Why I am doing this. Yeah. Sorry, I get distracted out of your question, or did I answer?
No, it's totally relatable, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so you have just mentioned the problem solving is the first thing you should to be carried out, right? So, what kind of problem does your business solve, and how is it unique?
Hmm. Two parts, right? What kind of problem we solve and how it's unique.
Okay, overcoming the problems of the client is the most important thing for an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So, how have you ever faced such problem that could be uncountable sometime, and it makes a headache to them, everyone to solve that one? Have you had that kind of experience?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So let me start with the unique part. And I just want to clarify a few misconceptions about startups when it comes to uniqueness. Uh, so let's say uh, sometimes what happens that you it's not very important. So when we think about uniqueness, we always think about something different, something which nobody in this world is doing. But the business is not like that, because if you look at real world, where so you would have seen like this, in your city there will be some area where all the jewelry shop will be there, then there will be some other area where all the fish seller are there, some one area where all the vegetable sellers are there, right? And they don't need to be always unique. Okay, so normally we have this misconception, I even have that misconception, that if I'm building a startup I have to be unique. So unique in terms of, normally we think technology, unique in terms of features, these kind of things. But it is not very, it is not something you should like chase for. What you should chase for is again solving a problem, and then bringing some sort of business model. Business model means it can be unique in terms of business model. For example, Swiggy and Zomato, they both do the same thing, right? But they both have a different business model. So in the real market, in the real world, you have same type of business. MCKV is also running their business of selling degrees or educating people, and there are also many other uh, colleges who are running, they're doing the same thing, right? So they all coexist within the same ecosystem as long as the balance is there. So I just wanted to clarify this, because even I had this issue. Like, I was in a situation where I had to chase this uniqueness, which you don't have to. Even if you find out the same problems, man, is perfectly fine. The more specialized that you go, the more uniqueness you will anyway find later on. So now coming back to our what we do right here. So basically, you might have seen this, that whenever you go to, let's say, check into a hotel, right? They ask you for your Aadhaar card or your some sort of identity document. Normally, what they do, they take your picture of your Aadhaar card, or they just do a photocopy or something like that, right? So, do they really need that? You would realize that most of this business who takes your identity card, most of them need one or two information out of your identity card, not all of them. So, for example, if you go to a bar, try to drink, they'll always ask you for, okay, whether you are 18 plus or not. Now, in order to prove that you are 18 plus, you have to show your entire document, right? Now, imagine from that bartender perspective. End of the day, he has thousands customer coming in, and now he has 1,000 documents sitting with him, and he doesn't know what to do. So what he does end of the day is that he either he sells it or he just throw it away. So how about, do you see a problem with it? Like, he is getting the data which he does not even need, right? So there are a lot of other business like that. Your e-commerce platform, they only need your address. They don't need to know your name, nothing like that. So you remember that I was talking about bu- building privacies, right? So how do you build privacy? The less data you release to the internet or all these services, the more privacy you have. As simple as that. But then how do you solve this technically? So did we solve this? Is basically we take your identity document, run through our algorithm or software or technology, whatever you call it, and then it generates proofs. Now, what all these proofs are basically some mathematical proofs which can be enough to tell that okay, you are 18 plus without having to share your date of birth. Okay, so don't worry about this. What all these proofs are? We don't need to go into that detail. But just think that if I ask you, okay, tell me your age, then you may ask that, oh, okay, what is the purpose of you you know so let's say the purpose is buying a liquor, right? So I just want to know whether you are 18 plus. I don't care your exact age, right? So what you can do is you can use our technologies, feed your identity document to that, and then it generates a proof which goes to the verifier or whoever is verifying your data. And that time, this guy does not get your actual data. What he gets instead is a proof, some sort of token, which is more than enough for him to basically verify that you are 18 plus. So this is one example of what we are doing, and there are many such use cases. Like you go to a restaurant, sorry, not restaurant. You check in a hotel, or you basically go to some event where you have to show your identity card, where they don't really need all of your data, but maybe they need your name. But because there is no way for you to share one piece of information out of your identity card, you end up giving everything. And that is the starting point of any leak, any breaches or your privacy violation. All these are just a starting point. So what we solved basically is reduce the leakage of data to these apps. Yeah. So you only share what is required, not everything. You don't need to share. Now this creates a question that what if I am sharing with your company? What if you guys go rogue? We can also go rogue, right? And that's where our technology comes in, where we don't have a backend. Let's say I put the software within your phone. It does not even need internet to connect. So there is no backend to it, right? So you basically use our tools to generate the proofs, and then you share the proofs to the any service provider who you want to get service from. So so how it is unique is basically still you are using your purpose is being filled, right? So you are drinking, you have went to the bar and you are drinking, or you have went to checked in a hotel and you are able to check in. But what did you solve? You are no longer giving all your data to these guys. And the less data they have, they cannot, even if they are hacked, it's fine, right? Because they don't have your data. So this is what I always wanted to do. Like, I always wanted to educate and help people reduce their their footprints on the internet. And that's why I told that I'm not yet successful, because my own father keeps giving his phone number to every single person he meets, right? Some random person will come and ask him, okay, sir, can you give me your number? uh, this is for this, and he will just end up giving it. So that is why I said I'm not very successful.
So basically, your aim is not just to do this on Hypermind, but also spread awareness, right?
Right.
Also, talking of which, I would like to ask that you created Hypermind, right? And you say that we should keep asking the question why. So why the name Hypermind? Like, what was the notion behind keeping this name?
I don't actually remember. Like, I remember 3 4 years back, we had this discussion, and our CEO just randomly came up with this name. So basically, Hypermind came later on, but first we built Hypersign. So Hypersign is the product that we have, and Hypermind is the company. And within Hypermind, we have multiple product. Hypersign is one of them. So like I said, right, we wanted to solve the password problem, and Hypersign was one of the version, and we use this word in all the hackathons. So if you try to Google search about Hypersign in some hackathons, Unisys hackathons, we did Cyberwin and many other hackathons. Uh, so we just randomly use the sign part was because of the digital signature algorithms that we were using, and Hyper was just random. I don't know. I think that time hyper was something that everybody was talking about. We just used the sign. So Hyper sign was the product, and then but we had to register our company. And then our CEO said that you should not register your company with the product name, because we might have multiple other products later on. So that's why I think he came up with this idea. So there was no some deep thought or something given to this name. That, to be honest.
So basically, Hypermind is a successor or derivation of Hyper sign, right? Like Hypermind and then Hypersign.
Yeah, but organizationally, the company name is Hypermine, which is
Mm-hmm.
registered. So so that
But
you
Hypersign came first, right?
yeah, but Hypersign came first. Yes, exactly.
Right. Okay, thank you, sir.
So I was curious about to ask you. Last year, you have been featured on Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology. We have a glimpse of video of yours where you have addresses your idea with the passionate peoples, the surrounding who have not only innovator but also the passionate to do the service to the societies. So what were inside you? What are the feelings that you have at that time?
Sorry, what were inside me? Can you be a little bit informal?
Sure, sir. Actually, last year you have been featured on the Singapore Week of Innovation and Technology, right? And you
Yeah.
have delivered your valuable idea on the stage with the passionate peoples. So,
Mhm.
could you please elaborately say that how was the feeling at that time you have?
So I think that was 2 years back, and I think there were 150 companies applied. So see, so what Singapore has is, and this is interesting, even I didn't know about it. So Singapore is a small country, right? So they don't have like too much natural resource, or they don't have factories and all that. So how do they make money is they have some policies which are very favorable to startups. So for example, and there is a proper structure to it, like once you go there, they'll create your bank account, they'll basically provide you office spaces, they'll provide you lawyers, and everything is sorted there. You just have to be ready. You just have to tell them, yes, I want to do my startup here. In fact, they sometimes they help with the fundings and all that. So they have created this program. I think it's called Startup Accelerator or something. uh, I don't recall that name of the program, where they basically invite startup all over the world to compete in a competition. Okay, Switch, yes, Switch. It was called Switch, I guess. And uh, and probably my CEO applied for it, and so out of 150 startup, they selected, I think, 30 of them. uh, and then they sponsor the entire trip. Okay, so for all the startups, where you go there, and it's not like one day thing. Okay, so so they gave you opportunity to live in Singapore free of cost, food, everything is free of cost for 10 days. And then they help you basically understand the startup ecosystem there. uh, they have like area like Salt Lake, where you have everything that you need for a startup, and very good working environment and everything. And end of 10th day, they will have this thing, this competition where you have to pitch. And I remember, but the good part about this entire program is that you get to meet with people across the globe. Like you had startups from US, Canada, even Iran. So a lot of good people you meet, make friends. And and this thing, the last part, which is the competition, is basically for some sort of small funding, but these are mostly gimmicks. That is what I understood, because they cannot let you take that money. So because they want you to invest in that their country, right? That's how they will make money. But anyways, I did not win that, whatever you can call it, hackathon or competition or whatever. I did not win that, but I got to understand about their culture, how Singapore works, like how it is favorable for startup ecosystem, and of course met a lot of made a lot of friends there. So yeah, so it was very interesting. I mean, I was very glad to, because I have been to other countries as well, and I've never seen government being so passionate about startups, and they are providing so much opportunities for people to really get settled down in that country, and especially to the entrepreneurs. And you know but of course, all these things, free things, comes with some sort of clause that you have to hire people, you have to live in that country, you have to keep your money there, lot more other things. But yes.
So, sir, as you mentioned that in this program, you actually got to meet a lot of people across the globe, right?
Yeah.
So, especially because they were sharing their startups. Now, did that influence your thought process or maybe influence your networking in any way?
So the better word would be, I learned a lot of things. Influencing, I mean, so I, wa- I just jumped into startup. Okay, I had no idea about running a business. None of my family member have ever done a business. I didn't even know the basics of business. So I just randomly, you can say, jumped into it, and I did a lot of mistakes on this journey. Um, so I had so much thing to learn from others. Okay, So that is the main thing that I think I can understand. If they still are my friends and I keep pinging them and asking them for any sort of uh, advice or help from them. So I think it was more like a learning that I got. And 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 learning is always there. I mean, while I'm talking to you, I'm learning something. So so yeah.
So even if you didn't win that, you actually learned a lot, right? So I think it's a win in both cases.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I see what I learned from Bengalis are they love traveling, and this is and what I've seen is that it doesn't matter. Like being a Bihari, coming from a Bihari family, if you look at our side of people, they struggle a lot. Like, and they feel that if they travel, they'll have to end up spending a lot of money. But then when I look at Bengalis, and this is what I learned from Bengalis, that it doesn't matter whether they have money or not. Somehow they will form a group and go for travel. And so traveling is always yes, okay, you will always learn something from travel.
So we can learn from anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, sir.
Absolutely. See, the problem with this, I am not very big fan of education, to be honest. I mean, I was I was a very bad student back in college. So, but later on, basically, my learning actually started when I really moved out of college, and I was basically kind of lost what to do. So there was a time when I left my job also, and that time demonetization had happened, 2016. So after that, I had to, like, I was not understanding what I am doing. Like the whole point of doing all these things is to making money, and when you made money, the money has no value. Yeah. So Modi came and announced, okay, this money has no value. So what am I doing? Like, is my entire life was a lie or what? So this basically struck me. Okay, so the everybody will keep telling you go for higher packages, and then one day when you have that all the packages, and then that is of no use, or your bank goes down. Yes Bank went down, right? People had a lot of money in Yes Bank. So so then you realize, okay, about life, oh, this is not just about getting a lot of money. Money is just a part of it. You have so many things to learn. Yep.
Yes, sir, you have just said that you are still learning and you are on the way of being a successful entrepreneur. So, would you like to advise what you will be going to give advice to your younger self or back to yourself before starting your entrepreneur journey?
Love your problem statement. This is what they don't teach you in the college, and I'm very 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 very, I still feel like whenever I talk to my cousins, like younger the brothers, they are running after solutions because that is how your education system is. Like you have to, by the time you think about a problem, there is exam. And and then just to get rid of this exam you have to. So I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm saying this is how the system they have created for you. So what you have to, like, right from your, let's say you have finished your one college, sorry, semester, first whatever semester you are, and when you are going to the next semester, always ask why part of your that question to your whoever is the professor or your teachers. Like, why are you studying this? Why this? Ask why calculus. What does calculus solve for you? Why probability? What does probability solve for you? uh, so I was very bad in maths. In one time, I think I was almost got that's I was almost just passed out. Like, I think it was in second year. The mathematics was very difficult. The reason was I was not enjoying. So you have to find out the something which you really enjoy, and then you have to ask the question. In fact, they used to tease me in the college that I was a how to guy, because every time they ask me, I'll just go to Google and do how to. so so yeah, I mean, so just to summarize, ask question, ask as much as question as you can, because that is what is going to help you out in the long run. Yeah.
So basically, learning is woven into every moment, right?
Yeah.
It's just not related to conventional education only. Correct.
Yeah, conventional education is a part of it. Yeah. I mean, see, it's very small thing actually. What we are studying. What is more important is how you can become a good person. This, so it'll basically take me to a different discussion, but you have to be first a good person, and find out a ways to be a good person more than anything, any of this drama, education, startup, college life, and all this shit. End of the day, you will be only be satisfied when you become a good person, and uh, when you become polite, give importance to others and things like that. Whatever our parents used to say, and we used to always not follow them. But later on, when you come to my stage, 30-40 years old, you will realize that that is the truth. Rest other things are just a drama which goes on with life. But I want to ask you guys, like, how did you guys start with Startup Club? What was the motivation? When did you start? What's going on?
Okay, so this year we have just joined the Startup Club. Startup Club has it a great vision for our student enhancing the skill and development. So we are in the processing and making that Startup Club a big one.
Great. I'm very glad to hear that, because you see, startups are going to be very difficult. Okay, that's the first thing first. And just want to be very clear, when you say startup, you don't have to create or register your own company. Having your own company does not mean startup. Startup has its own meaning. Start up, you just have some idea, just start thinking about it, doing something around it. Doesn't have to register your company, leave your job, and start doing what I'm doing. So so my journey started. So after working for several years in Kolkata, I moved to another company where I was in R&D department. So within that, the entire big company, they had a small unit which actually used to work like a startup. So and what so basically, you don't need to leave your job, or so don't get into all this discussion of whether I should leave my job or do that. No, your job is to solve problem. Okay, and solve what problem which is worth solving. Yeah.
Yes, sir, you just stayed really true and agreed. Apart from the study, this kind of club enhance our thinking and makes us to be innovative in your life.
Yeah, and don't worry about all this these
Massive
placements
something.
and all drama. See, man, you guys are anyway. See, so I'll tell you what. Okay, one quick story. I was working in a very complex problem statement when I started my venture, and I got stuck. And then there was a guy. He was in class ninth. Okay, I met him in one of the hackathons. He solved that problem for me. And then one day I called him, "Oh, bro, why are you not coming?" He said, "Bhaiya, I have exam." So if that guy can solve our problems, then I believe that the coming generation is way more smarter than any of us. So I think your priority should never be getting a job. This is the first thing. And I'll tell you. So when I hired people, so we have like, I think 15 people now. No, we came down to 12. So we have 12 people now, and none of the developers I have hired, I have never seen anyone's CV, never asked for the CV at all. Right? So it doesn't matter what did you study, doesn't matter where did you, I'm very frank to it. Okay, it do matter for getting into. But if you have a skill set to solve problem, if you have a skill set to analyze problem, yeah, any company will come and hire you. Okay, so you don't need to you know run after companies to get yourself hired. So that is what I would like to say. There are hundreds and thousands of people who are looking for. So this is my struggle, and I'll tell you very frankly. Okay, when I try to interview people and ask them question, I feel there is so much job already available in my company. Sometimes there are so many vacancies, but I don't get people who is really passionate to about their work. So the problem is not on the job side. I always used to think when I was looking for a job that, oh, there is no job. So no, it's what it is a very false statement. There is always a job. The problem is finding a right person who can actually work. Yeah. And when you so you guys know about Fibonacci series, right? Fibonacci series, you might have. So I have been into an interview where I did not answer the Fibonacci series question. They hired me. So do you think that all these things really matter? No. What matter is, are you curious enough? Are you a problem solver? Are you looking for a problem to solve? Are you interested even in doing this work? If you are not, then find out your interest. There are 100,000 other things to do in life where you might find your interest. Yeah, if you like writing, go for writing. If you like something else, go for something else. You will do anyway better. So I think your generation and our generation is not looking for job but looking for work satisfaction. Okay, I want to work where I feel happy. End of the day, I feel satisfied. These kind of things. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I cut you in the middle. Okay, so any other questions?
Yes, it's one of the demanding question. How you just prioritize and manage your time as you are in the process of being entrepreneur. As a student, we have to struggle and hurdle with the time to prioritize something our life. How do you manage that one?
So I think prioritizing. Hmm, so what I usually do is I usually sit in the night, like before I sleep, and plan my day for tomorrow. And two things I would say, that first is I try to do all the small things, like whatever small, which I don't need brain to do it. I try to quickly sort them out. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, and then I'll keep all the, so that, so you have, let's say, 10 tasks, and out of 10 there might be 3 tasks which might not have much priority, but they are very easy to get rid of. Yeah. There's some half an hour I'll spend and it's get done. So what this is, normally I think everybody does this. I'm not very telling you very exceptional thing, but this is how I do is I get rid of all the smaller tasks, and then rest of the tasks which are tougher, then I'll start focusing on one by one. And one thing which really helped me out is the Pomodoro technique. You guys, I'm not sure. So this Pomodoro technique really helped me out. So normally I keep it for 45 minutes. Normally the Pomodoro works for 25, but 25 is too less. Like opening a laptop, understanding the problem, 25 minutes is gone. So normally I keep it for 45, and that's how I've been managing my time. So it basically keep you focused. That's it.
Like, how do you manage your time? Like, are there any strategies you adopt?
Normally your all the technologies help you manage your time. So like I said, I was not able to, I didn't know that you guys have booked this call because it was not in my calendar. So somebody else would have you know uh, basically taken the time. So uh, so like I said, the technique, Pomodoro technique, figuring out, like, getting rid of smaller stuff first, and then planning your day for the next day. That is a it's
So,
not very.
scheduling does play a major role, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. I mean, you don't have to be very far fetched. Okay, what is going to be happen in the end of the week? But at least, mid, first 3 days, what are you going to do? I'll try to plan it in the Sundays or weekends. Yeah. But see, my role has changed now. Like I no longer have to really like work as a work. I have to basically delegate the work. So I try to plan for my employees, right? So normally what I do is I don't get a problem and then, so basically what I'm trying to say is I already know what all my employees like on what. So for example, one of my employees love to, you know, research, so I will simply give all the research work to this guy. Then the other girl love to write codes, I simply give all the coding work to this lady. Yeah, so normally I don't distribute the work based on my requirement. What I always do is I try to find out, okay, what my people are good at, and I'll give them the exactly that work to do, and then they will be 100% productive. Yeah.
So it's time for the Q&A session. Actually, it's time for our audience side to please ask any question, any inquiries you want. Feel free to share with us that we haven't didn't covered. Please, everyone, go ahead.
And I might come to college as well. I'm
Yes,
planning
sir.
to
We have
college.
got
So
informed from Ranchita ma'am. She's just shared a warm to you. Say a blessing to the Vishwas for coming event in the college.
yeah, so maybe you guys can meet, and if you have any other questions, you guys can definitely ask me. And don't worry about all this startup and buzzwords, and these things are least concerned. What is most concern you should have is the problem statement. Any problem statement that you come across, just work on that problem statement, get it verified, get it validated first before getting the solution. So for example, you would get some, I don't know what which year you guys are in, which semester, uh, all of you.
Okay, right now I am from third year mechanical department.
Mhm.
And most of the participants from CSC and other faculties are there.
Okay, so yeah, so you will get projects in next year, right? So try to get into the problems of why are you doing it. See, the problem with the teachers also, right? Uh, they will always search for, okay, how did you solve it? This is the problem with faculties also. I don't know how is the system now, but back in my days, it was like that. Everybody is looking for the solution, and that is the main issue. So work on the problem statement. The more clarity you have the problem statement, write down, taking pen and paper, not writing in a computer. Take a pen, take a paper, and write down like old school, write it down. Okay, so that this I always use when I work on a problem statement. I always keep a copy and pen, like literally copy and pen, where I will write with pen. So you write down the problem statement and try to visualize the problem statement. So that is something you should be doing. And there are many other things, but anyways, and also one more thing, like the problem, it's not like the you will get you will sit one day, think about a problem, and it'll come to you. No, it doesn't work like that. So how does it work is you keep seeing the problem around you. So for example, you're walking on a road, and you might, or maybe let's say you went to a, a service station, or let's say some, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you look problem around you. You start seeing the problem, even if it's not worth solving or not. But just keep looking for the problems, small problems. Okay, can you? Is there any problem? So, for example, I was sitting in one problem when I was in MCKV. I realized I went to this Samsung service center where they they basically made us sit for some time to collect our phone. I think 1 hour or something. And meanwhile, they were showing us a TV, because so that we don't get bored. And I was thinking, like, what are they doing with my phone? I don't know what will they do it. Will they be trustable or not trustable? I don't know what We normally have these kind of questions, right? Like when you give your bike for the servicing or car for the servicing, you don't know what this person is doing inside, right? So how about instead of showing some random news channel or something on the TV, you show show my phone, how this guy is opening my phone, what exactly he's doing with my phone, what all components has he changed. So see the kind of transparency we will have. and the kind of confidence I will have on that company. Oh, they are so much transparent. See, this is also a problem statement, nobody has solved it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you will look for the problem everywhere around you when you start looking for it, when you start thinking about the problem. So that mindset is required, and this will help you in anywhere, like anywhere. I mean, when you go in a job also, you don't need to, like I said, right, you don't have to create your own company. You can always work for a company and solve a problem.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, I had a very personal question on the last note.
Hmm.
You, in the very beginning, you said that you do not consider yourself successful. Like,
Yeah.
then what is the definition of success for you?
Well, as you would have already understood, it's not like it's not a general statement, right? Everybody has their own way of defining the success. So part of my definition would definitely include that vision that I wanted to achieve. uh, so few days back, my father called me and he said, oh, somebody had called him, and he has sent his some UPI request and he would have paid some money. So so I wanted people to be aware. I wanted people to be you know access to technology in the most simplest form. So probably my definition of successful at this point of time, which will definitely change in maybe next 10 years, I'm sure about it, is this, like, achieving my part of my vision also would definitely make me happy. So yeah. Rahul.
Yeah, Rahul Singh, please.
Yes. So good evening, sir. First of all, thank you for giving your valuable insights. So my question is, you just mentioned in the starting that we must think that everything starts with why, right? And also, before starting anything, we should first understand that whether it's a problem or not.
Mhm.
Now, talking on my personal level, I am working on some stuffs which I find myself that yes, it's a problem in the society.
Mhm.
Also, it's a very common thing that whenever we ask our friends that yes, भाई मैं इस पे काम कर रहा हूँ, तेरे को क्या लगता है ये प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है क्या? So
Yeah.
as a friend they only say कि हाँ हाँ तू सही जा रहा है, but we all know that it cannot be correct every time. So where exactly can I find that correct validation that yes, I am working on the right path, or I am thinking in a good way, or it's correct for me?
Yeah. So um uh, may I know which branch you study?
Right now I'm in CSE data science.
Okay. So कोई भी system, whenever you build any system, right, you define some, basically you try to do benchmarking. You define some parameter on which you want to test the system, and you want to see that, okay, the the if this system succeeds, all those tests, then I will say yes, I have built some good system. Now, so basically what I'm saying is you have to find out some numbers and some ways to uh, basically validate that system. So when it comes to problem statement, yes, you are absolutely right. There will be 10 people around who might be saying most of the time yes, okay, because this guy doesn't know anything about that problem. He might not have visualized the problem the way you have visualized. So for him, what is the easiest thing to say? What is the easiest thing in life to say? Yes. Yes is the most easiest thing to say. Yes. Because when you say yes, there is no other next question around it. When you say no, okay, why are you saying no? Then you have to brainstorm. Oh, acha. So so most of the people like that will say yes to everything. But for us, like, what that parameters or the benchmarking thing was, okay, when we presented the idea in the hackathon, did we win? When we presented that idea to a VC, what did he say? Did he also think the same way? And if you don't have any of this, then you have market to decide. If you really want to take this problem statement to the market, then you have to do the surveys. So I'll give you one. example. So 2016 or 17, 18, 16, 17, something like that, I got to know about bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, things like that. So I, in my and I wanted to, basically there was some activity happening in my company where you have to sell something. Okay, it could be anything, it could be also a cake. So a friend of mine, she has baked a cake, and we had to sell it. And I said, why don't we sell it for cryptocurrencies? Like whoever comes with a, crypto token, we will sell this to that person instead of taking real money. Now and that, but then we had to take approvals from our, whoever was leading this HR or whoever is that. Then she said, okay, you want to do this, why don't you do a survey, like how many people are interested to do it, right? So surveys are another good example of validating your idea. You do a survey, but then you do survey to the right people. You should not do a survey to some random person who does not even understand or does not even relate to that industry or problem statement at all. So for example, if your problem statement is, let's say, I don't know, it's related to transportation, then you do survey who are in the transportation industry. You don't do a survey with a doctor, because doctor would not have no knowledge about how to solve a transport problem. Yeah. So
Yes.
surveys, talking more people in the same domain, industry. In your case, I think it would be mostly your professor, teachers. So they will definitely help you out.
So basically, I can also talk with the professors and also the other batchmates not from my batch. Will it be okay? Like I can
Mm.
get different perspectives. Will that be okay?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But see, if that person has some insight and some interest, so that is where groups comes in, right? Like for example, why you guys are here and not all the entire college is here? Because
Exactly.
some of you are interested in listening and understanding and probably going in this direction.
Agreed. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Do we have any more questions?
Okay, so now as we have come close to the end of the session, so first and foremost, huge shout out for our guest speaker Vishwas Anand sir. You have just incredibly
You don't have to be this formal, man. Come on.
yes, sir, your speech is so great. You have just motivated us not to be just be a part of the papers, but also be apart from a problem solving innovator, and it's create a huge fortunate that we could able to interact with you exclusively. Soon we are waiting for you to come on our college. We are excited to meet you.
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, sir. So now I would like to take a moment to appreciate our unwavering support and encouragement of our visionary, and come back to support encouragement that our board of directors have given to us. Your fostering and culture innovation had made that incredible event to be in a reality. And not to forget our organizing team, they had a big thank goes out to you. You have guys have worked untiringly to ensure everything will go out without a hitch of issue and doubts. And the last year tech you are incredible. You have just worked behind the scene and make sure everything goes on smooth. Thank you everyone. And not forget our final audience, they have just been a backbone. Sir, we just got late with our session, 2 hours from our exact timing, but they had just participated in this sessions tirelessly, anticipated that are clappable for everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye, sir. Before leaving the meeting, we will be providing you the link please do fill it up. It's the feedback form for this session.